Diplomats, VIPs and other outwardly respectable people keep domestic workers in conditions of slavery, unable to leave, paid nothing and living with violence.
Reshma was a slave. She is still so frightened of her former employer, a member of the royal family of one of the Gulf states, that she asked for her face to be hidden.
Can you describe how you were treated here in England?
वो इंसान को इंसान ही नहीं समझते, एकदम से समझते हैं कि गुलाम है ये हमारा और हम जब चाहें जैसे चाहें उससे काम ले सकते हैं। तो अब मैं नींद भी नहीं थी, जब चाहे वो उठा सकते थे रात में दिन में कभी भी। तुम खाने के लिए वक्त नहीं था और नहाने के लिए तक वक्त नहीं था, तो सोने के लिए भी थोड़े से आवर्स थे, 2-3 आवर्स इस तरह के। Sometimes they will pull my ear. Sometimes if you talk, they will tell, if you give reply, I'll cut your tongue. They'll shout. They won't think this. रोना भी आता था रात में सोच के, ये इस तरह का बैड सलूक करते हैं मेरे साथ। तो क्या कर सकते हैं हम, ना कुछ बोल सकते हैं ना कुछ कर सकते हैं, काम कर रही हूँ।
One night, when Reshma was up getting milk for the child in her care, her employer turned on her.
Catch my arm and take me like this and push me out.
And pushed you out of the
Yes.
front door?
And locked out.
Did you try it to see if it was locked? Could you
Yes,
get back
yes.
in?
But it was locked. मैं वहाँ इंतज़ार करती रही खड़े रह के 3:30-4 बजे तक, मगर किसी ने।
The family left the country and Reshma has never heard from them since.
No, they didn't pay any money. They threw me out. So I'm in empty hand, just in one dress.
Before this interview today, you were very afraid to speak to us. What made you decide that you would speak to us?
Especially in this domestic work in England, people are suffering too much. Not only me, there is so many ladies, so many people, others. I want somebody have to be help for these people.
Across London from the diplomatic quarter, the world price of cocoa is set. By the time it's being traded here, and on a similar exchange in New York, cocoa has become a valuable commodity. The way the new global economy works therefore has a direct, if unintentional, impact on the lives of slaves on the West African cocoa plantations. As the price goes down, the slavery goes up. Danny Swales, a trader on the futures floor, explained how much is gambled every day on minor price changes.
On an average day at the moment, we're looking at around 6,000 to 7,000 lots. £6,000 per lot, and times the 6,000 lots, you're looking at about £36 million.
That's £1 billion a month. Yet few of the deals down here actually involve real cocoa being delivered. For the most part, traders buy and sell the promise to deliver cocoa sometime in the future. Buying this morning, selling for profit this afternoon. This trade helps producers and buyers gauge the future price of cocoa. But it also attracts high-risk speculators.
Speculators can affect a small market like these in quite a substantial way. If somebody were to be holding a significant amount of the spot cocoa, then there would be a squeeze on the market and the near-month price would rally above and beyond all the other prices on the board.
A trader on the London futures market tried exactly this gamble 4 years ago. He bought up huge quantities of cocoa to force the price up, then later had to dispose of the stockpile. Many experts feel it was the combination of this supply of cheap cocoa and nerves over the World Bank enforced liberalisation in the Ivory Coast that have led to this year's all-time lows.
The cocoa produced by slaves joins the great river of cocoa which flows to Europe. So none of the bulk cocoa importers can be certain that their supply is free from slave labour. Some of the cocoa is bought by big chocolate manufacturers, but most is bought by giant food multinationals to be processed into chocolate flavourings and coatings for biscuits, cakes, breakfast cereals and ice cream. Since liberalisation, the number of companies buying cocoa has dropped from over 70 to around a dozen. concentrating the buying power into just a few very powerful hands.
The industry told us that it was shocked and disturbed by the allegation of slavery in West Africa, and if it proved to be true, they would be most concerned. But after just a few months of investigation, we found experts on the ground who estimate that 90% of cocoa plantations on the Ivory Coast use some slave labour.
Chocolate is one of those products that potentially has slave labor behind it. You know, we know that there is slavery in the cocoa plantations in West Africa. Now, when you've got slavery in any kind of product, it means that even the products that are made with free labor, with paid labor, have to compete against slave-made products. That brings the price down. That means that chocolate bar cost you a little less. Or sometimes it means the company that sold it to you made a little more profit.
All this is a world away from the realities of life on a cocoa plantation. Slaves here cost around £15. But to find out just how easy it would be to buy one, we asked Honoré, the local journalist we were working with, to take a secret camera to the marketplace and try to buy some workers for his farm.
For one 15,000, yes. So it's normally 15,000 CFA, so £15.
Now he took this money and
pushed it up.
Yes, he pushed it up, and
he thinks he can get more money out of you because you look more affluent.
Yes.
Because you got a bargain with him.
40 hands.
Yes.
That's 50,000.
Yes, for two.
For two boys.
Yes,
yeah.
2 boys.
Within just half an hour, Honoré found what he was looking for. A trafficker willing to sell him 2 young men newly arrived from Mali and looking for work.
Il faut quand même qu'ils nous disent combien ça fait et tout ça. Moi, je vais aller prendre l'argent. Voilà. Alors, ce matin, on te prend.
Once the price had been agreed, Honoré was taken to a farm just outside town where the 2 young men he had agreed to buy were being kept in a shed.
C'est les deux.
Later that day, we met the 2 men, Umaru and Abu Bakr, at Honoré's plantation and told them what we had learnt of slavery on the Ivory Coast.
We've spoken to men who've not only not been paid for years, but have been whipped and have been not allowed to leave.
If they knew
They'd
this,
heard these stories, why did they come?
Having narrowly escaped slavery, these men can now have the paid work they were so desperate to find when they left home.
For the 19 young men rescued by Consul Mako, the nightmare of slavery is over. They're returning to Mali with tales that may convince some of the thousands of young men who flood across the border every year not to take the risk.
People watching this may think, well, why don't we just stop buying chocolate? But I have to tell you, that can actually make things worse. You know, if we all stop buying chocolate, the price of cocoa on the world market would fall dramatically. The farmers would start getting a lot less for the cocoa they grow. They've got cocoa farms. They can't switch suddenly over to making TV sets. They have to grow cocoa. No, the right way to go about this is, in fact, to get behind those organizations, like the Fair Trade Organization, that makes sure that we pay the right kind of price for the products and that the producer gets the right kind of profit for it. We have to make it clear to the multinationals that slavery is too high a price to pay for cheap goods.
The dramatic shifts of the global economy have made more and more of the world's poor vulnerable to being enslaved. But it is still possible to eradicate slavery by all of us forcing not only the multinationals but also governments to act. Here in Brazil, 30,000 men, women and children were enslaved in camps in the depths of the rainforest, producing charcoal for the steel industry. But when images like these were seen in the North American press, the government came under intense pressure to act against the slaveholders. A task force was set up, and in just 3 years, slavery in the charcoal fields was abolished. They may still be badly exploited, but these men are free to leave, they are not controlled by violence, and they are paid.
A gente trabalha mesmo porque se a gente não trabalhar, a opção é, né? É o jeito, né? Não recompensa não. A poeira, né? O plaquinho aí, ó. E aqui acaba a gente. A gente sente, quando a gente tá mesmo bem descansado, a gente sente. Quando a gente respira, a gente sente o pulmão da gente. Quando a gente cospe mesmo, que a gente sai dentro do forno, né? Quando a gente cospe assim é pretinho. A poeira, a cabeça.
And how much do you earn in a day?
R$7.
7 reais.
É duro.
It's hard, but it's no longer slavery. The experience of the charcoal camps of Brazil proves that when there is a will, modern slavery can be abolished.
But liberation is not the end of the story for slaves. After years of brutality and psychological torture, they need help to adapt to lives of freedom and choice. At the Sachs Rehabilitation Centre in Delhi, called the Mukti Ashram, Huro and Shivji are getting exactly that help, along with 50 or so other children, all of whom have been rescued from slavery. Here, the children learn to like themselves again. They learn to mix with other children, and they learn to play. Suman runs the ashram and is the much-loved auntie amongst the children.
When these children come in the center, they are just left free. They can sleep for as many hours they like. They can play, they can dance, they can sing songs, or they can sit, they can relax. And in the meantime, our staff try to build some sort of rapport with them. And by doing this, the children here, he is not the only one who has been suffered. There are children working in different industries and facing the same similar sort of problem. So that gives them some sort of confidence.
उससे बच्चे जो थे वो गलीचा बनाते थे तो कौन-कौन बनाते थे गलीचा ये देखो किसी ने बैठा नहीं बैठा नहीं बैठा आज तक गलीचा.
So then we ask them, what you want to now do? Then they come out that they want to learn something. They want, since they are illiterate, so they want to get some education. And gradually we make the timetable according to wishes of the children.
Suman's organisation rescues around 3,000 children a year from slavery in brick kilns, stone quarries, glass and fireworks factories and carpet looms. But Suman has yet to see a single slave master imprisoned for his crimes.
So the loom owner who kept Huro for 5 years,
nothing has happened to him.
He walks free in India.
He walks free, yeah. Generally it happens. Generally it happens. No, we never came across where an employer has been punished.
For Huro and Shivji, the time has come to leave Delhi and head back to their home village. At Suman's ashram, they have learned they are not worthless.